What's up, JEFusion fans? Philip here, and welcome back to another video. Now I'm just on the couch, lazing around, and you know what? I called it. So in a previous video, spoilers, by the way. But yeah, anyways, in a previous videos, I talked about Kamen Rider Zeztz episode 30, right? So we find out Baku isn't really a Yorozu. Minami is, but the Yorozu family just simply adopted Baku. Apparently, as part of a code mission. So basically, Mr. and Mrs. Yorozu, well, technically Minami's parents because she was actually born between them. So again, so they were apparently working for code, and Minami was turned into an agent eventually. So but again, the point of the matter is, so somebody left Baku to be taken care of by the Yorozus. He was raised as their son, right? Okay. But again, everything came out in the previous episode, so we don't, or they're not siblings at all. Or rather, in episode 29, we actually find that out, but it's explored a bit more in episode 30. So I mentioned a theory about who or what Baku actually is and who his true parents are, or at least there's one parent that we kind of mentioned in the previous video. And I said that Baku's real father, at the very least, is Zero. And episode 31, so basically Baku and Zero finally, actually they finally meet face to face. Now, Baku doesn't really meet Zero, although we do see Zero like not as the Zeroider, but we already see him as the person, the Agent Zero. But technically, Baku and Zero have never met. But what happens in today's episode? Yeah, I'm recording this on the same day. So Baku goes to the cemetery to visit the Yorozus, or like at least his foster parents. At least thanking them for like raising him as their son, which is really nice. Like he still appreciates the things that they did for him, even though, it was technically a code mission. But the point of the matter is, so again, uh, Baku visits the grave of his foster parents, and as he was leaving, so some guy, you know, passed by and also offered flowers to the Yorozus and tells Baku, "You've grown." Yeah. And that guy, obviously, it was Zero. So basically, Zero finally decides to show up for Baku, or he decides to show up anyway. And what happened was he was basically warning Baku that the next time we meet in a dream, it might be your last. So, again, what happened is, well, um, basically, uh, Zero was threatening, or like at least he's warning Baku that again, like if we like the last time you go to sleep, it'll be your last. And basically, he also implies that not only will you be eliminated, but everyone else who's connected to you will be eliminated as well. And that list would include, so Minami, Inspector Fujimi, and Nazca, because they already know the secrets, or at least Minami has known the secret all along. So Inspector Fujimi and Nazca also got involved at some point. So uh, they're basically on the hit list as well. And we also have Nox and Nemu added as well. So like there are at least 5 people who would be on the crosshairs of, you know, code as well. So not only Baku, but again, like the other people that I've mentioned. So they're also targets for code right now. So that's what happened. So at least Baku's idea, like, so he tried to buy a lot of energy drinks so that at least Minami, Inspector Fujimi, and Nazca don't fall asleep. Like, if you don't fall asleep, you'll be safe, right? So he has a crazy idea, but at least, you know, he has a way to at least protect his friends, his family. I'm not sure about Nox though, so he's not really that involved in this episode. But Nem is also on a nightmare of her own when Tachibana-san like kind of kidnaps her or holds her hostage. Well, she is able to escape, but like she actually reaches like her mother, Agent 2, and like, are you gonna help me or not? So basically that's their whole shtick. But like that's like the B side of the story and not really that much focused, but I want to concentrate on Baku here. So he eventually goes to bed, and Zero also like enters his own dream. So basically, they kind of meet, and within that dream, Baku encounters like this dark Zeztz. So uh, he tries to fight Dark Zeztz, and you know, even though he has like the Ordom form right now, which is so far his strongest form, he also actually uses Catastrophe for a bit before changing into Ordom. Uh, Dark Zets is actually quite formidable and quite strong. Of course, like Baku has power up, so he also kind of at least some sort of advantage. But again, Dark Zets is no pushover. However, in the midst of the battle, so like the setting changes, like the surroundings change around them, and now Baku is inside of some sort of memory. So we actually see, at least in the dream world or like in this memory, so we actually meet Mr. Yorozu for the first time. So Baku's adoptive father, Minami's actual father. So he takes Baku and shows him a familiar motorcycle, the Zeroider. So of course, Baku as a kid, like he's impressed by this cool looking bike, and he tries to ride it, and then well, actually, like well, he was just checking out the bike though, and then another man shows up, and this is Agent Zero. So Agent Zero actually lets Baku onto the bike, and Baku it goes boom boom on the bike, and he doesn't actually ride off. Like, he's too short, at least for his age, to be riding that kind of motorcycle and be able to control it properly, of course. But Baku feels that there's some kind of connection, you know, between him and this old man. And, you know, the fight between Baku and Zero, or at least the Dark Zets, continues. And then they end up in basically, Baku's secret base. Although this is technically still in the dream world, but Baku pieces like everything together. Like the Dark Zets apparently is Zero's personal nightmare. So the Dark Zets is that manifestation. And Baku pieces everything together. Like, you used me, your own son, to escape your own nightmares. And you call yourself my dad? Yep, Baku pieced everything together. He realized that Zero has been his dad all this time. Like, I knew this would be revealed eventually. You know, I might have mentioned something in the previous video, like, again, this reveal would come in the form of like a Star Wars, like, Luke, I am your father type of scenario. Well, it didn't really play out that way, but again, it was Baku who realized everything, and it was him who said, like, "You're my father? Like, you dare call yourself my dad after what you've been doing?" So, again, there must be some kind of reason for Zero to actually hand over Baku to the Yorozu so they can basically safekeep him. But as for those reasons, like, it's not really clear just yet, but definitely Baku knows that something's up. There's definitely a reason that Zero gave him to the Yorozus, and you know uh maybe at least all this time, like ever since like he had gained the power of Catastrum, like you know like he would be eliminated. uh so like code, at least the rest of the code, uh upper echelon, if you will. uh well, at least Zero was a commanding officer in code, but there are other people like behind the scenes, like like higher ups that we haven't seen before, because in an earlier scene, like Agent 3 was talking to these like supervisors, and basically they say, and they literally say, because the conversation was in English, so like we can no longer overlook his actions. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about Seven here. They're talking about Zeztz, although they don't really specify who they're talking about, but they could also be talking about Agent Zero, and that also kind of makes sense. But nonetheless, there is someone that they do have to eliminate, because their actions might undermine code, or like put code in jeopardy. And code 3, or Agent 3, says, like, leave it to me, as he says. So this is where probably like the assassination order comes in. And actually, like, the mission, like Baku's mission for this episode is counter the assassination. So like he knows that he's already a target of code, and he must do everything to stop this assassination attempt against him. And like I've mentioned earlier, like the other people involved who had been related to Baku, again, like Minami, Inspector Fujimi, Nazca, Nox, and Nem. So they're all targets for code, right? Now I know that Nox has been a target for code, like he as like because he was a code trader, like he deserted code, and you know uh, like he's still seen as some sort of threat to code as well. But again, Baku is now on a different level. Like I would say, like code considers him like a higher level threat, but um you know uh I think that's due to him like gaining the power of like Catastrom, because again, like it was powerful, but uh like it could bring untold levels of destruction that that's probably actually worse than nightmares. But uh we're still yet to see like the actual reasons for code trying to target Baku. But nonetheless, yeah, we finally see the big reveal. Now, I was actually hoping that they would play this out like a bit longer. I feel like following up in a single episode is like too soon. Like, again, I understand what's happening. It was bound to happen anyway. Like we eventually find out that you know Baku and Zero are actually like are the actual family. But again, like this one episode gap is too soon in my opinion. But I guess we're kind of running into the latter half of the show anyway, so I think this would also work fine, I guess. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing like what happens next. At least between Baku and Zero, and how they're going to solve the problems in like future episodes. Maybe like at least the next episode like already hints at them like eventually working together, uh or at least like we're kind of seeing that first step in that direction. I'm kind of seeing it at least. So Baku eventually forgives his dad, and they join forces and basically take down code together. Who knows? At least this is the direction that I am seeing in like in the current state of things. So again, it's a sensible episode. It makes sense, but like this reveal is too soon in my opinion. So I'm giving Kamen Rider Zeztz episode 31 4 out of 5. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So as always, thanks for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.